spot right in the pitching room.
Yeah, I reckon, eh?
Right here be a perfect spot.
Yeah, this looks really busy. Oh, there he is.
You have arrived.
Yeah, that's the one we passed at Coffs Harbour.
Yeah. Oh, look, Susan Harlow's here as well. Jackson Susan Harlow. Look at this. Looks like a mint track. Welcome to New South Wales State Championships. Here with my best mate, Robbie Mortensen. Robbie, what have we gotten ourselves into, mate?
Oh, mate, it's a pretty wet weekend. What do you reckon, mate?
Microphone's in the car. I'm looking forward to the weekend as long as it stays wet, because there's nothing like turning up to a whole new racetrack that we're not used to and then learning that we're all in the rain.
Yeah,
so
never been here before. Love trying new tracks, and we get to race new people, which is also really exciting. So
yeah, all
looking
right.
forward to it.
Let's go and have a look around and have a look at the track. Port Macquarie Kart Club. Thoughts so far, Mr. Mortensen?
Well, there's a big sand pit at turn 1, so we don't want to lock up into there.
Bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Bit of a country vibe here.
You reckon
Racing in the forest.
You reckon the leaves will make much of the grip in the weekend? Just look at how many leaves there are on the grid.
Yeah, it's a bit here. Look at all the shit on the race line here.
Yeah, I know. I can see. I reckon this will be this has to be like the most trickiest corner.
Oh man, you don't want to crack here.
No.
Look at that, you won't get out of there.
No.
No rubber down, you can't even see where the race line is.
No.
I reckon this will be a good passing opportunity. Real deep under brakes. I reckon another good spot to pass, apart from turn 1, a bit of a flowy corner. But I reckon a hard brake, you probably do a bit of a lunge into here.
So right now, looking at this racetrack, I'm actually getting a lot of Kalula Coast Kart vibes. The way it looks, it's just all nice and curvy, and when the circuit's really wet, I'd like to assume that it'll have a very perfect wet line to sort of, or a different multitudes of wet lines you can actually possibly choose. I mean, it's a new track to us. We're going to be learning completely from scratch, and tomorrow is meant to be raining all day through till Saturday, and possibly maybe a bit of sunshine on Sunday come the final, but we'll see how we progress through the rest of the weekend and see from there. But yeah, definitely getting Kalula Coast Kart vibes here, and this will be our first state championship race in the rain since Warwick 2022, and we're not going to bring that up.
Absolutely not.
So here at turn 5, I think, this looks like a pretty deadly corner to be making a serious passing maneuver on, at least under the conditions that we're walking the track right now. So yeah, by the looks of it, it's wide lines for the wet line and unknown about the dry line, or at least for us. So waking up here 7 o'clock in the morning, and my tent's already cooked. Lovely sight to wake up to, but it's not as bad as that one. Poor guy, whoever has to deal with that. Right, so my go-kart's all ready to go. Morto's just pumping air into his. Kart's pretty much set up. Ideally, as I would like to have it in the wet. Karts are about to head out on track soonish. As their practice session begins. Actually, they might even be out there now. So here comes tag heavy, and that will be Susan Harlow in front. Here it comes, Jackson Susan Hollow. Interesting line through there. So Robbie, first few laps at Port Macquarie at all and learning of all weather conditions on the wet, how would you rate this track? What's your thoughts first few laps out?
Mate, I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. So much fun. What a place to learn in the rain. But I ended up P2 in that session. Never been here before. I did have an off though. You know, covered in shit. Like it's covered in black goop. It was prepped really shiny before we come down here, but I'm happy. Had heaps of fun. That's the main thing. How'd you go, mate?
So first few laps done here at Port Macquarie. Yeah, very lovely track. It gives, like I said yesterday, we had the vibe of Gympie, but also a mixture of Warwick as well. They've sprayed the surface with a tar-like sort of spray, and as you can see, a lot of it that's come up here is a bit black and all dirt and mud. And I didn't even have a single off, no spin, no nothing, just learning the track. So ended up P5 that session. Kart was a bit difficult to sort of get the front to sort of dig in and turn on the front tyres. Maybe my pressures were too low. Maybe I didn't have enough front track width. Maybe my axle might have been too hard. So we've come here with a stock standard setup as per the OTK setup guide. But yeah, so far it handles pretty good so far. We might just need to make some minor tweaks, but what do I think of this track? I'd give it a solid 10 out of 10 in the rain. Just going to try and fine-tune my driving a little bit and try and get the go-kart set up there, and we'll crack on from there. What, did you take a or something?
I did. It's all in the helmet too.
Kansw, so we've had qualifying in race 1 so far today. What are your thoughts with the mixed conditions?
Oh mate, like pulling my hair out just with the decisions to throw everything wet, then we're throwing everything dry, and then all of a sudden it's 10 minutes to go, and then we're throwing everything back to wet again, and yeah, it's on the tools constantly.
Have you had a chance to have any food or water today, given how stressful that it's been for both yourself and your teammate, I guess?
Yeah, mate, it's been pretty hectic. I've made sure I've been having the fluids, and you know, between us both, we're working on each other's go-karts just to try and get them ready to go because of the last minute changes. And now it's raining again, so mate, it's a pig. Look at it. Looks like I'm a rally driver.
Yeah.
So yeah, mate, we just put a smile on and go out there and send it again. So
Okay, so welcome to finals day on Sunday. Kart's all equipped and ready as much as it can be. Same with Mortensen over there. So for the morning, it's meant to keep raining for until 9 o'clock, which is about half an hour before our race. And then for the rest of the afternoon after that, it's supposed to be dry and sun's meant to come out around 2 o'clock. So the weather app is telling me. I haven't been able to get an accurate bomb reading or a radar that's within our location or weekend. Maybe I'm Googling it wrong, who knows. But we're looking good. Starting 8th for Heat 3. And Morto starting 4th. So yeah, I guess we'll just see how we'll go from there.
to number 17, that's Robert Mortensen. Engineer champion in tag restricted light. It's the driver of the 35. It is Thomas Williams. New Wales champion.
Mr. Mortensen, congratulations. P2, not quite the victory, but you drove your heart out on a track you didn't even know into a weekend that you had no prior testing to. How do you reflect on a weekend like this after the result you've had and everything that you've had to endure?
Oh, mate, it's very trying conditions. Never been here before. Racing new people, it's really enjoyable. Like, turn one is in the wet or dry, amazing. The build up onto the straight, awesome. It's such an awesome track. I remember race 3, I had a ripper start and I led most of the race, and Tom and I were having a battle for the lead. I'd pass him, he'd pass me, and we're back and forth. And then in the final, to have Munro come from the back of the grid to then leading the race, like there's some stories for everyone. Everyone had some good racing, and overall, like so fun with the trying conditions, and yeah, just had a blinder. So,
Do you think this will be an event to remember for a long time?
Oh, absolutely. I think the cleaning of the go-karts will be in the memory forever. So it looks quite clean now, but it wasn't earlier.
No. Well, congratulations on P2 again, Mortensen, and we'll see you again soon, yeah?
Thanks, buddy. See you in the next one.
So there you have it. That was the conclusion to the weekend at Port Macquarie for the New South Wales State Championships in 2024. While it was a good ending for Robbie there in the end, it wasn't really so good for us. Basically what had happened was I went for a risky move on lap 1 after the second corner, and I didn't anticipate the mud on the inside. Once you got into it offline, there was just no grip. I did try to turn in as gently as I could into the corner, but I didn't even have an overlap on the guy in front of me in the number 60 kart. Yeah, the corner just kind of opened up and then it closed the gap. And look, it was lap 1. I decided to go for the move, and it was a complete bonehead move and a simple mistake, and it's cost my race along with 3 or 4 other people that were involved. The crash was completely my fault, so to anyone who happens to be watching that was involved in it, who is following me or just happens to stumble upon this video, I deeply apologize. The crash there was completely my fault, my mistake. I own up to it 100%. I went for a move and I cracked it in the wrong way possible. Aside to the ending of my weekend from that crash, I thought that overall it was a really good weekend despite the ending of it. Port Macquarie track is radical. It just rocked my world, honestly. Like, it sort of had a mixtured vibe. In my opinion, it had a mixtured vibe to here at home with like the vibe of Gympie going up and down, like the track with a different elevation change, but also to like with the service of Warwick, because like Warwick, Port Macquarie sort of had that little like tar spray across the track. And of course, whenever it rains and pours and hammers down like what it did on the weekend, the spray is just going to come up as like a black tar, and it's not really too good. The cleaning job of the go-karts is not going to be ideal, because you'll most likely end up having to replace every bearing in the go-kart, from the front wheel hub bearings to the axle bearings. Possibly engine air filters might need to be just thrown out and then replaced with brand new ones if you can't clean them thoroughly enough. The radiator, as you saw, was just completely like, I'm surprised with all the tar build up in that it didn't really block any of the cooling vents to a point where it was going to overheat the engine. In fact, the engine was actually keeping pretty cool across the whole weekend despite that. And okay, maybe temperatures were a lot more ambiently lower down in New South Wales than what they are here in Queensland, but even still, like, it's somewhat similar temperatures, like low 20s to maybe, I don't know, yeah, pretty much low 20s, but either way. And I think just overall the camaraderie and the brotherhood between a lot of the drivers, at least from us Ipswich boys. I mean, I didn't really know too many of the locals there, but thanks to anyone that actually did happen to come up to me and say, like, hey, I watch your videos, because, like, I do appreciate that. I do love that. And I would like to thank you for tuning in to whoever you were that happened to just come up and say hello. Like, you know, I'm just some normal dude that's just shooting videos at the end of the day. But yeah, back to the weekend. I thought the weekend was really, really awesome. The racing in the wet was clean. Actually, the racing all round in restricted light was clean. You know, it was fair, it was competitive all weekend long until some bonehead decided to completely ruin it in the final. Racing in the wet was definitely the biggest highlight. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to this year's attempt to win the blue plate at New South Wales, which ended very horribly. Hopefully next year I have a better shot at the title, better shot at another blue plate, or a better shot at a blue plate. Unfortunately, yeah, the quest continues. In the next Ipswich video, I would highly recommend you watch, because this one is going to be a little bit more different than the last few ones. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye, and keep on racing. Ciao.